The government is looking at watering down the unprecedented power its proposed fast-track law would give a trio of ministers to decide which projects get rubber stamped.
The controversial powers have raised the ire of conservationists, and our Infrastructure Minister Chris Bishop says he's open to making constructive changes. Political reporter Amelia Wade explains.
Shane Jones in full flight, unlike our national bird.
Gone are the days of the multicoloured skink, the kiwi, many other species that have been weaponised to deny regional New Zealand communities their right to a livelihood.
Shaden's a good mate of mine, and he has a way with words. I don't have his oratorical skills.
Chris Bishop and Jones are two of the trio of ministers giving themselves unprecedented power to decide which major projects bypass red tape and get the green light. But that could change.
We're open to constructive changes on the fast-track regime to ameliorate some of the concerns that people have.
Two government watchdogs have recommended changes to water down the power. The Parliamentary Commissioner for the Environment said the legislation poses significant environmental risks because it deprioritises the environment, would allow activities previously banned and limits opportunities for environmental scrutiny.
There's been some suggestions around how the panels should be the final decision makers around that, in the same way that Labor's fast-track regime looked at. We'll have a good look at that.
The Auditor-General said he'd like to see a strengthening in the management of ministerial conflicts of interest.
Just hours before public submissions on the fast-track law closed, the government released a list of hundreds of organisations who'd been invited to apply.
One was King's Quarry, which is connected to a $55,000 donation to New Zealand First and Shane Jones.
On what date did he become aware that at least one company in contact with his ministers about applying for fast-track approval had donated to a coalition political party?
I'm not aware of that, but I know that we will manage conflicts of interest incredibly well with this process.
Though often it's not the conflict of interest, but the perception of one that needs to be managed. Amelia Wade, Newshub.